Welcome to Tea Talks, where young adult stories and church experiences blend into a beautiful insight to inspire us. So grab a cup of tea, sit down, relax, and enjoy while we spill the tea. Today I have with me here my new friend Valeria. Valeria, welcome. I'm so happy that you accept to be part of this video series. Well, let's start with getting to know you a little better. Why don't you tell us a little about you?
Well, I was born and raised in Ecuador, and I came here to the States to study at Southern Adventist University. And currently I have a double major in business administration and public relations and have a minor in marketing.
That is awesome. And I also went to Southern, so we already have that in common going on here. So, well, to begin, I like to explain that the video series is inspired on this book here that's called Growing Young. This is Fuller Institution decided to figure out why are we losing most of our young adults, okay? And they started to focus on the churches that are not losing, they're attracting and keeping young adults. And one of the things that they found from this research was that churches that have a warm community will keep young adults. So from your perspective, what is a warm community for you?
I will say something that makes me feel like home. You know, I've been moving a lot, and every time that I meet new people and then I make new friends, and they make me start feeling like I'm home and then welcome, and that I can be myself, I can share the way that I'm feeling or the way that I think that is very welcoming to me, and then it's always it always makes me go back, and then I feel happy and comfortable in that community and that family that I just created.
So what are essential elements for a warm community in your view?
I will say a group of people that knows how to listen. Someone that can also not only listen but like give you advice, talks back to you, and it's always like open to talk, and then shows like genuine interest. Spending time together. I feel like that's how you start like getting to know each other, getting to like create those bonds, and then like that way you can
building a relationship.
I love that. So yeah, I really like since the beginning when they're like also open to get to know you and not like close, and then sometimes you go to places when they already have a built group, and then you just show up as a new person, and sometimes they're really close, and then you don't feel like you're welcome. So I feel one of the things that makes me feel like welcome in a new place is just like this group is open to us.
When they
like new
embrace
people.
you and they are welcoming to you.
Yes,
that
and
is
they just
wonderful.
make you feel part of it.
Have you been to a community, to a church community that you felt welcomed?
Yes, my church actually I feel is one of those places. Most of my friends, we grew up together, and then we went different ways. We went to different churches, different places, different cities, and then at some point we all went back to the same place, and we pretty much like it was like the time never like passed by, and we have that community, and like we always share, and then we have that group inside the church and outside the church. So we have like church activities, but we also like to hang out outside, go on trips and everything, like get to be there for each other. So no, I will say my church not only like young adults like hang out, but also like other people, adults and like kids are always like involved together. So I feel like that's one of the places I will say.
That is wonderful. Yeah. Being able to be part of this warm community, I know it probably made a world of difference for you. In your opinion, do you think that most young adults can find these warm communities? What do you think is the reality for most young adults?
I will say it's hard. As I was mentioning at the beginning, sometimes you go and then young adults are in that phase and we're like trying to figure out what's the next step in our lives, and then we move a lot or we just change, or like different changes in your life that are coming our way. And then I experienced when I moved to a different place that most young adults didn't feel welcome, and it was part of that close groups that they were already there at the church. And I remember one time this girl that was like a family friend, I clicked instantly with like one of the groups because I knew someone, so it was like easier to just connect. But this girl was always out of the group, and she was there at that place for like many years, and she never felt part of it. And I feel like that's the reality of a lot of young adults, because they're moving, they're just probably coming back from college to their original church, to their home church, and then not feeling like they belong anymore. But then again, there's like some places that you can just click instantly, and that's like the best scenario for most young adults. But sadly, I feel like the reality is like most of the time they don't connect or they don't seem to click.
I want to ask you this question because I believe it's going to be relatable to a lot of young people that move to the United States when they are in your age, young adults. How do you feel in a sense of, in the topic of warm communities, how it is to be an immigrant in a new country, in a new church? How has that experience been for you?
I will say the first time that I came to the States and I went to a church, they were very welcoming. They were always like trying to make me feel welcome and then including the activities, but it was definitely hard to click with all the people. Like they invited me to the events, but it was never like getting to know me more. So it was like, oh, you're more than welcome to come to this dinner that we're having, but that was pretty much it. So I show up to the dinner and I didn't know anyone, I didn't know how to talk to people, and then it was also the cultural change because I feel like I was probably like very into like getting to know everyone, and then some people already had someone else and they just talk, and then I was just like kind of fell, left aside from
I'm from South America too, so I know I can relate. At the beginning, I thought the American culture was so cold, and I had this like negative feeling, but then with time and patience, I getting to know them, and they are as warm as it's a different approach,
Yes.
Brazilians were like, hello, I'm here in your face.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I feel at my church. I will feel like a lot of people is like, as soon as they see someone new, they're like, oh, hey, welcome. Yeah. And then here's the difference. Mm-hmm. But it's been like a couple of years that I've been here, and I've been learning like it's a different approach, but you can also find amazing people that will make you feel home.
Exactly.
And then sometimes like people that you don't even know, people that have never talked to you, don't even have anything in common, and they will just like make you feel welcome.
I feel like when you actually become friends with an American person, they are true friends for life, and that's something that I learned to appreciate about the difference in cultures, that is wonderful.
Yeah, I definitely seen the change, and I'm so glad to be here and then have amazing friends, and I get to connect with people from other cultures as well.
What are some barriers that you see now? I know you are at a university, so your reality is not always the reality of a lot of people out there, because in a university you have so many young people there, but in general, you can talk about the school or in the church. Do you feel like are the barriers to build a warm community?
I will say maybe different perceptions of different beliefs at the beginning, or the way that you act at the beginning, that can create like a barrier between you and the new person at the church. Maybe they dress different, or they talk different, they act different than you do, and a lot of people, and I've seen it happening, like really close themselves to it. They don't even try to interact with the other person just because they feel like I don't have anything in common with this person, so why would I even try? And again, going back to the beginning, a lot of young adults feel like they cannot approach a group, or they cannot feel welcome in a place because maybe they have a different point of view, or like they grew up different, they are from another country or state, and they just will feel that. So I will feel like that perception that you have previously, or even trying to know the person, that could be one of the barriers.
Yes. Do you feel like a warm community helps you come closer to God?
100%. I heard this a lot while growing up, and I heard a lot of people saying, a lot of adults saying like, the church is not a social place. Yeah, you don't come here to come like make friends, and that's not true. I will feel like when you have that friend group at the church, it encourages you to go more, and then you get to enjoy with the people, and then that warm community is always like make me feel welcome and always like eager to come back to a church. Just because I get to see the people that I love, the people that I enjoy spending time with. So I will feel maybe at the beginning, if you're like new to a church or something, you just recently started like having this new group of friends, maybe your reasons are to just see your friends, but having that good time at the church and like with the people there, and I make you feel welcome. It's kind of reflecting God's character. So that will create, like a need to connect more with God because you're seeing that in the other people.
Yeah. When you said that, the older generation tells you, you don't go to church because of the people, you go because of God, which is not wrong. We go to church because of God.
Yeah,
We're there
yeah.
to worship God. But God created church because he knew we needed a community.
Correct. Yeah.
So we need the friends, we need that bounding that he creates from being a community. So that's why God created church. That's what I believe that, and actually it's a challenge that we have right now. Because especially after COVID, a lot of people are just very comfortable not going to church. So, and a lot of people think, why do I need church?
Yeah.
That's exactly why we need church. It's because we need that warm community. How has been since you are not in the warm community anymore? How are you dealing? How are you overcoming this?
I recently been trying to just go to a place or find the place that gives me the same warmth that I experienced before, and it's been kind of hard. I'm guessing because I was used to my community already, that I was like, I know all the people, and then like I know the way that we interact and everything. So I will say definitely it's been harder to find a community where I'm not close to
Knowing everybody,
getting to know new people. Yeah. And then a thing that I have, and then I've been working on changing, is like, I'm not gonna find the same exact community that I had before. And that's okay. Like, I will still find people that love God the same way that I do, and people that are gonna connect with me, and people that are, welcoming. And I have found some people like this, and then it's amazing, just feels amazing. But it's been definitely a journey to readapt, or like encounter like a new community, like warm community.
Yes. I know you're still going through the process. You still haven't found a community since you moved. Did you say back here, like you lived here before?
Oh no, when I moved here.
When you moved here, I thought you said, I got confused right there. But I know you're still going through the process, but what would you say to another young lady or a young man that is having a cultural shock, that has moved from another place and still has not found that warm community? What would you say to this person?
I would say to be open, to get to know new people from another culture, and don't expect maybe to find like a group of 10 people that are gonna feel like all of a sudden like a family. It takes time. It gets time and effort to create a relationship, like trust another person. And sometimes you can only meet one person, and that person is gonna be with you. And that's like what I found. I found amazing people that I met someone, and this person led me to meet other friends, and they're like bringing me this joy and warmth that I needed. And of course, give like the situation to God, and then just pray about it, and just like asking for guidance, because sometimes when you're trying to find these new people that are gonna feel like warm to you, like a warm community, sometimes you can encounter something else that is not as good for you. And since you're just like, just in need of a community, it's always good to ask God, for guidance, and just for strength too. Because when it gets hard, and then when maybe you feel like you don't have someone there, God is gonna give you that strength back to, overcome that feeling, and then keep going in the journey until you find a place.
Seek God, find His guidance, be patient.
Don't
give up. I love it. Valeria, it was wonderful spending this time with you. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation to be part of this video series, and I hope we can do this again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for joining Tea Talks. Keep stirring up the conversations and embracing the beautiful and the messiness of life. And until next time.